Hi everyone, I'm Dave Garrett. I am currently a photographer in the real estate market in Wellington. I've been a real estate agent for 20 years prior to that, so I kind of have a handle on the property market and rental investments and that kind of thing, but I don't have much info and I haven't got much or any experience actually in terms of short-term rentals, Airbnbs and Booking.com and Book a Batch and the like. And I've learnt a little bit about this subject, but I've found someone who is very knowledgeable on this side of things. And so I thought we'd have a little chat about short-term rentals and see where we go. Now, Julie, you have 2 rentals, short terms?
One
Airbnb?
Yep. Yes.
We're actually sitting in the Airbnb as we speak, in a nice little cozy corner. And this was something that you wanted to get into, or was it kind of accidental? How did you come about to be an Airbnb provider?
Yeah, accidentally, and I think that's the case with a lot of Wellingtonian hosts, especially now with, the cost of living, especially high in Wellington with the rates going up, insurance is going up. So it was accidental, and it's been great for us. Yeah.
And you've kind of run with the baton a little bit, and you're a super host as well?
Yes.
What is a super host for people who don't know?
A super host is when you sort of exceed expectations.
Yeah.
So that's how Airbnb, it works on a rating system.
Right.
And that way poorer listings sort of are weeded out.
Yes.
And if they hit a lower threshold,
Yeah.
or if the host does something that they shouldn't be doing,
Yes.
they're gone from the platform.
Okay. So above a super host, well, that's where you want to get to with your Airbnb, right? Because
Yes.
it's kind of like a top of the cream of the crop type thing.
Yeah.
But you're also an advocate and you're helping other people with their Airbnb listings?
Yeah, so I help sort of raise the standard of listings,
Right.
and I'm also the volunteer Lower North Island Airbnb community leader.
Okay.
And so in that role, I've been, had lots of hosts contacting me with this proposal that the council's put forward.
Right.
Because lots of them are just ordinary Wellingtonians like myself, and they are going to be struggling with this.
Yeah.
policy.
I saw you in, was it RNZ's site or something like that? You've kind of become a spokesperson, almost accidentally.
Yeah,
for
well,
this,
it's a volunteer role, so it's there's a lot of people that have been doing this for quite a while and rely on that income.
Right.
Wellingtonians, we've been affected, lots of households, ours was, affected with redundancies.
Yes.
It's, Wellington seems like it can't catch a break at the moment.
No, there's definitely a lot of headwinds and there's more to come by the looks.
Yeah, and putting a policy in place when really you need all the foot traffic that you can get and all that visitor spend, it's not a great idea.
For people who don't know, how about we step back a little bit and just kind of define what a short-term rental is. I'm calling it a short-term rental simply because calling it an Airbnb gives you the idea, but not all short-term or vacation rental providers use Airbnb, or they might use a multitude of sites like Booking.com, Book a Batch, Batch Care, there's a bunch. So how would we define that short-term rental? Does the government or the council define it?
Yes, they do. And you're right, it's not just those on the platform, it will basically be any Wellingtonian offering their house or making their house available so the government classes a short-term rental as under 3 months, whereas Wellington City Council defines it as under a month stay.
Under a month stay.
If your property is available for 60 days or more in a year, that's not based on occupancy. Okay. So you might only get 1 or 2 bookings and you're still going to be captured with higher rates.
Do you have to have a full house out, or is it just a room?
So at the moment, the council are looking to exclude rooms. If you just let out a room in your house, they'll also exclude granny flats and sort of cabins. But they won't exclude people that rent out their house or put their house on Airbnb when they're going on holiday, or those that are vacating their house purely to pay their residential rates. And we have a few of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like families, lots of retirees that just can't keep up with the increased rates and insurances.
Yep. So what is the council proposing?
So they are proposing to charge anyone that makes their house available, not occupied but available, so not based on bookings, for 60 days or more a year, for stays under a month, to charge them commercial rates. So this will hit those that just do it occasionally. And for lots of people, that'll be around 200% higher.
Wow.
Yeah, so up rates, sometimes up over 30,000.
So you don't even have to have rented it out, have one person stay.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where it's unfair, and that's why we're pushing them to have something like a bed tax, which is more proportional.
Yes.
So it'll capture the people that will pay more that are doing it as a full-time business, rather than those that are just doing it occasionally. So at the moment, it'll capture people that are just renting their house out over the school holidays and over the summer holidays. They might only get 1 or 2 bookings, and they'll be captured. So what that means is they just won't host anymore, and that money it'll be lost visitor spend.
In your experience, as somebody who's mentoring and all of that kind of stuff, is there kind of like a typical Airbnb host, or is it a wide range?
It is lots of them are accidental, so they've had life changes.
Yes.
Especially in Wellington. So we've got people that are moving. Like they can only get work out of Wellington, so they're moving out of Wellington for a few months, maybe a short-term contract in Auckland, and what are they going to do with their house in Wellington? At the moment in Wellington, house prices for people that aren't Wellingtonians, house prices have dropped about 20 to 30%.
Yeah.
Lots of people are in negative equity.
Yes.
So you can't just sell your house.
No.
Like, it's very complicated.
Yes.
So there's lots of people in that situation, people that have been affected by the redundancies that are just finding that they can't keep up with their bills, and so
would the people that you come across generally only have one Airbnb accommodation available, or 2?
No,
maybe?
mainly one. Yeah,
so we're not talking about people that are in this as a commercial business.
There's
with 4 or 5,
There's
6.
lots that aren't in it for commercial businesses.
Yeah.
There probably are a few. I don't personally know them. I know a few property managers, but then again, those property managers are working on behalf of other Wellingtonians.
Yes.
And, that need to make money.
So as a provider, if you make a profit, you're paying tax on that profit, right?
Yes.
So you're already paying tax.
And now GST.
So you've got tax and GST.
Yeah, and expenses.
So this could be, with those two alone, you could be talking 45, 50% of the earnings of that. So why do you think the council's looking at these short-term rentals as different from normal, what I would call a normal rental, which is month by month, somebody is there for 2 years?
Well, I think there's a misconception that lots of our guests are tourists. And in Wellington, that's not the case, because in Wellington, it's a working capital.
Yeah.
We get lots of people coming here for work, coming here to visit family, coming here to get medical treatment. So it's quite different. And it does open the door to, well, if the council bring this in and get this across the line, is it going to be long-term rentals next? Will they charge landlords who are doing using a property for commercial purposes?
Yes.
Will it open the door to them charging other people that use their houses for commercial reasons, like hairdressers, in-home hairdressers, and people that tutor from home, and people that, are seamstresses, or anyone that uses their home for a commercial purpose?
To my mind, I don't see any difference. Like, if you've got a bed in the place, who cares how that is kind of set up? It's an interesting one. And that is something I guess Wellingtonians that do run businesses from home should have their ears kind of like, oh, what's going on here? And I think this is almost sliding in, these proposals sliding in, and a lot of people don't realise the consequences, the wider consequences of what's happening.
Yeah.
How do Airbnb stays differ from, say, hotels, or what they offer?
Well, we actually cater to a different market. So when there's an event on, yes, every single place in Wellington is booked out. Hotels in Wellington, I think they have 3,800 beds.
Okay.
They're not going to have the capacity alone. So that's going to be another issue. If the council are looking to reduce the amount of Airbnbs, that's going to have a knock-on effect for what events.
Yeah, because Wearable Arts, say, I don't know, brings 20,000, 30,000 people.
And everything's booked out.
And some of the big concerts and stuff.
And that will impact what events we can get in future as well.
Wow.
But more so, we do attract a different market. So typically larger groups, families. We get lots of, say, tradies working in Wellington. We get people coming for medical stays that want to be near a hospital. We get people coming to be with their family to provide support to their family or visit their family. They don't want to be in a hotel in the middle of town. They might need lots of bedrooms and they want to be in a home-like environment. They might need, like we provide different amenities than a hotel offers, like secure parking, kitchens, multiple bedrooms, pet friendly, and it's that combination that that's what we offer. That's so different.
From the outside, it would look like the Airbnb market is competing with the hotel market, but there are nuances.
And if you take away that sector of accommodation, some of these visitors won't come, and that is the last thing Wellington needs at the moment.
Yeah, that's very true. What value do you think Airbnb brings to Wellington?
Well, we talked about, it makes it more accessible for families and groups and those people that need to be in specific locations where there aren't hotels. Those people that are staying need to stay in Wellington, and some of them are locals, like people between houses waiting for their house to settle, might need a place for their family and their cat and their dog, and they want to be near the schools. People that have been displaced by the recent storms that need a family type home, they're not going to put them in a hotel. People that having their house repaired or renovated, but then
in
also
between homes, like they're moving from Christchurch and they aren't, they've settled or on their place and they need to kind of bed down for a couple of weeks in between,
while they're waiting for all their furniture to arrive. And the same with people relocating to Wellington from overseas. They're here, they're waiting for their container to arrive. They're sussing out in the neighbourhood where they're going to put their kids into school. It just makes sense.
That's good. Who do you think is going to be affected by this policy? Obviously, we've got the accommodation providers, but there are other people that are affected potentially by a policy change. Like, I would think that if your rates went up by 200%, that's going to knock out a whole bunch of profitability, right? So this is so much harsher than other regions. I know the council have said it aligns with the other regions, but it doesn't. It's so much harsher, and that's because our multiplier is higher, 2.6 times rates. Our rates are higher to begin with, and you're timesing that, and our house values are higher. So this will just cause hosts to exit the market, and guests spend, I think, some of the numbers, I think they spent in 2022 194 million in Wellington, because when they come here, we direct them out into the city, their spending. We say to them, go to Scopa, go to, have a hot chocolate at Scopa, go to Monsoon Poon, all the different restaurant, go to Hummingbird, go and catch a show, go to a live music gig, go to a Hurricanes game, go to a Phoenix game, and we're encouraging them to get out and spend in our city. I guess there's that adventure market too, and you're not going to drag 4 mountain bikes into a hotel room and have them up against the wall or wherever.
No, and that's the thing. They want their that sort of equipment. Same with workers that have a van full of expensive equipment. They want it secure and they want it with them.
It seems like the council sees people using Airbnbs to make money as taking housing stock out of the market and then pushing prices up. Do you think that is actually the case? How do you think this policy will actually improve housing affordability?
No, it won't. You're right. The council, some of the councillors have run with that narrative, but the data for Wellington shows that Airbnb doesn't have an impact on, it's not a driver of Wellington affordability.
Yes.
Housing. And, as I said, there are thousands of homes.
Yes.
Available in Wellington.
Currently on the market.
Yeah, but they're never going to be affordable. Rent, right? Really, they're never going to be affordable with the rates and the insurance and the building costs that we have.
And I guess most Airbnb providers, if they were to charge commercial rates, would just take that part of their property off the market.
Yeah, and
or rent it for 59 days and then sit on their hands, or
that's it. Lots will exit the market, and the houses won't be available for long term. Lots of them, because they're used the rest of the time.
Or just put it on the market to cover Easter and Christmas. Can you do that kind of thing? Like, just have it on Airbnb for 2 weeks prior to Easter, 3 weeks prior to Christmas.
But you've got to watch out, because if you go to that 60 days, you're gonna, and it's gonna impact people needing to come to Wellington that wouldn't stay in a hotel.
Yes,
those larger groups of people. It will cost their bottom line. Like I had people here that are working. Lots of people that come to work, and they choose it because they're going to be here for weeks, and they need parking, and they need
they can leave their gear locked up in storage.
Yeah.
And how many bedrooms have you got in this particular?
I've got 2 bedrooms here.
Right, so you got a 2-bedroom place, its own lounge, it's nice and quiet, and it's close to amenities.
And I'm not actually going to be captured in this policy at the moment.
What is that? Because you've got below your own house.
Yeah, and we use it when it's not. My mum will be staying here tonight.
Yes.
She's almost 90, and it's perfect for her.
Well, that's why you kind of thought about this space in the first place.
My husband, huge family from Wairora.
Yeah.
So they, come down and use it, and we'd never rent it out long term.
Just doesn't work for you in that way.
I mean,
you want the flexibility, right?
Yeah.
When family members are around. Yep. So you've already kind of brushed on it. What would a fairer approach look like instead of doing this 2.6% of rates?
Well, it's not 2.6%. It's 2.6 times.
2.6 times,
which makes
250 or 260.
Yeah. No, it's about
360.
Yeah, it's about I think it's about 180% increase for most.
Just for you, what do you think that would look like for you in terms of the numbers? Have you done the numbers for yourself in terms of before and after?
Yeah, for lots of the houses. I was speaking to a lady the other day, and her rates would go up to around over 30,000.
Right.
Yeah.
Simply for having it 60 days plus on a short-term rental site.
And she usually is a long-term rental. So she bought the house when her husband left her. She took over the house because she wanted to stay on the property market. But then with all the increase in costs, she's working out it's really expensive. So she does long-term rentals. But the fact that Wellington is so depressed at the moment, there's how many? I think there was 2,500 or 3,500 places for sale or rent on Trade Me.
Yes.
So she's trying her hardest to get long-term rentals to tide her over. And in the gaps, lots of hosts do Airbnb and the gaps between long-term tenants. And so these people would be charged, they're only doing it occasionally. So a fairer option would be to charge a bed tax, which is more proportionate, a per night. So what
would that typically be? How much do you think a bed tax would be?
I don't know what they'd charge, but what it would mean is that the big players would be charged a lot, and the people that are only doing it a little bit in the year would be charged for the nights that they're booking, whereas at the moment they're all going to be charged the same. And it's just going to chop a whole lot of accommodation supply out of Wellington, reduce visitor spend, which is, which we need that for our businesses at the moment.
Especially at the moment, What do you think your message is to Wellingtonians over this? I know it doesn't affect, I wouldn't affect most people in Wellington, and probably a lot of people have things like job losses and that kind of thing on their plate. If they're in hospital, you'll realise it's quite depressed in town. The housing market has dropped more than anywhere else in the country, and probably is going to take another couple chunks with the recent announcement of more job losses in the government sector. So, yeah, should Wellington be aware of what's going on with this?
Yeah, I think, all we're asking for is a more proportionate charge.
Yes. So you're not saying don't charge us.
No, we're just saying don't put in a policy that will make Wellington less attractive to come to.
Yes.
And reduce the accommodation supply and reduce the foot traffic.
Yes.
At this time, or at any time really, we want Wellington to thrive.
Yes, totally. Yep. No, I agree. Thanks, Julie. That has been insightful, and I'm hoping you folks out there have gained some new information and insight into the short-term rental market and what the council is currently proposing. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.